Alright, round number 2. This hand looks interesting, probably worth keeping. I'm going to play Dragon Skull Summit on turn 1. Then the following turn I can either play Servant or Glint Sleeve Siphoner, depending on what I draw and what he's doing. Looks like a mirror match. What a surprise. So Glint Sleeve is generally better to get going earlier, considering I don't have anything to ramp into right now. We can play Aether Hub and the Siphoner. And the reason I play Aether Hub instead of a Botanical Sanctum is that we'll get to activate the Siphoner right away, even though it will mean we'll have an extra tap land later down the road. But the name of the game in this matchup is just start drawing cards with Siphoner as often as possible. But yeah, and he's just going to spend a Harness Lightning now. So this works out fine. Now we can play Servant. Presumably my opponent will play a 3-drop here, like a Rogue Refiner or a Virtuoso. Oh, just an Abrade. That's fine. Ooh, another Servant, not bad. So we will need to draw an untapped land and able to start playing our Planeswalkers, but I'm feeling pretty fine about the way this game's going so far. My opponent does not want me to resolve a 2-drop this game, but that's totally okay by me. Ooh, and we drew the perfect card to punish him too. So basically, I guess Glorybringer and Chandra are the 2 cards that could get him back ahead in this game, but otherwise I'm feeling pretty good. Looks like a Chandra. Yep, Chandra's real good in this matchup. Okay, well that can let me start playing things next turn. It's gonna make mana immediately. Is this a Glorybringer? Nope, Virtuoso. Probably another 3-drop if that's his play. Just a Cub, okay. Vraska you say. So that's interesting because we can Vraska minus on the Virtuoso. He would make a Thopter, but we would be able to Fatal Push something, but then he'd get to finish off Vraska with a Chandra. I can also have Vraska Plus, which does not allow me to do anything else really. And making a 2-2 isn't that good on this board. I think I like Vraska Minus, because we drew the Fatal Push. So I'll just take out the Whirler Virtuoso right now. Oh, and he's deciding not to make a Thopter. He's going to save up his energy for maybe a Long Tusk Cub activation or 2. Which definitely works out better with this Fatal Push in my hand. It's making mana. If this is a Glorybringer, that changes things a bit. Just a Virtuoso, that's fine. Another Cub. Okay. So we'll go to damage, force him to put a counter on it, and then we can use the Fatal Push. See what we draw. Untap land, that's something. Gives us some more options. I may want to finish off the Chandra here with my Nicol Bolas. Just take away that avenue for him. So I could -4 it, Nicol Bolas would be at 3. Then I can make a Vraska token, he'll still be able to kill the Nicol Bolas. I can Nicol Bolas get rid of his hand and also make a pirate. It's also a viable line. Nicol Bolas will most likely survive the turn, but he'll still have a Chandra, an active Chandra, which I don't love. Is it better for him to have a Chandra or me to have a Nicol Bolas? I kind of like the idea of just keeping Nicol Bolas around. He can have a Chandra, but he will lose the 2 cards that are in his hand, which are probably expensive. Then I can make a token with Vraska. Presumably going to lose this Vraska, but you never know. If we get to untap with these 2 Planeswalkers, then I'm feeling pretty alright. Just going to make a Thopter. He drew a land. So I'm just going to block the Long Tusk Cub. Everyone's going to Vraska. I'll force him to put a counter on it so we can't make any more Thopters at least. This will also finish off Vraska, but that's fine. I'll still have Nicol Bolas going. Because I'm presuming he's going to Chandra Plus. Bristling Hydra, that's a good card. He's just going to deal the damage. Placement effects, not sure what that means. Just a Motobug, I presume. Alright, we've got a Nicol Bolas now. Let's start by cycling, because I don't need a land. Fatal Push, that's not bad at all. So I guess let's go up. Let's see, I can minus. That'll put Nicol Bolas down to 4. Then he'll go down to 1 after an attack. I get to get rid of his Chandra. Yeah, I want to go ahead and kill that Chandra. With no cards in hand and no energy in his bank, this seems relatively safe as long as he doesn't... Even a top deck Glorybringer he wouldn't be able to play, or Chandra. So now I just get to kill the Cub, and then Nicol Bolas will untap with 1 loyalty, and we get to start going to town. So how's he doing it? Yep, that makes sense. Cast on Cub. Go ahead and F6. And he sent the Whirler Virtuoso at me, assuming it would live, which did not work out for him. Now we get to start +2ing the Nicol Bolas. Should be nice. See what we hit. Servant of the Conduit, why not? And then this Virtuoso should lock it up for us, because now he can't pressure my Planeswalker. And the game should be over from here. Power of the black sideboard strategy. Not even sideboard strategy. Power of the black version of Temur. Showing its value in the mirror match. So funny enough, even though we won the game with Nicol Bolas that game, I'm actually going to side it out for the mirror. Because negate is a problem post-board. And, you know, especially on the draw, we're going to have problems with just getting beat down before we can play it. So I like Chandra's Defeat. I like Duress sometimes. I like Gaunty when he's got Bristling Hydra. I like Nissa, but she's also kind of susceptible to not being too good on the draw. Just gets pressured too easily. As for cards I don't love Fatal Push that much. I mean, I like having 1 or 2 in because sometimes you need to kill just like a Servant on the draw or Long Tusk Cub. The defeats definitely come in because they kill both Chandra and Glorybringer, which are 2 problematic cards. And then we can consider Negate. I forgot about the Gaunties. Those come in. So like we could do this. Leaving in the 1 Fatal Push feels weird, but it might be okay. I mean, sometimes people side out their some number of Servants or Long Tusk Cubs in the Temur mirror. It's hard to say. But I think it makes sense just because our deck can go over the top with our Black Splash. So the most likely way we're going to lose is that him having a snowball draw. So I don't mind having the one of just hedge. Could also trim a land on the draw, I guess, and bring in a duress or something. I don't know, maybe that's not super correct, but I don't know. Which land is worse? Maybe like a Dragon Skull Summit? No. Probably a blue land, like a Drowned Catacomb, or maybe the Fetid Pools. Sure, we'll go with that. I also recognize his username. Not sure why. I think maybe he's got like a bunch of trophies online or something, so he seems like he knows what he's doing. It's hard to say whether I'm actually favored in the mirror, because even though my deck is favored, I am very inexperienced in the matchup, which probably balances things out. I guess we have to keep this one. Bottom. Raise your hand if you're excited for this card to get banned in a few months. Double attune start. And yes, I do believe this is the card that would get banned if anything. Just makes it too easy to splash, too easy to do all the powerful things this deck does so consistently. This, like my version of the deck, obviously could never exist without Attune with Aether. But it's basically preordained in this deck. Harness Lightning, okay. Opponent is all about killing the servants. But you got rewarded this time, because we don't have a third land. What is this, Anissa? Not bad. Top, that's not good. Not drawing lands isn't that good either. Let's play Rogue Refiner. Not too good. The one thing I will note about this deck, yeah, I'm assuming he left the land on top. I know the Black Splash gives us better card quality, but my opponent really does not want me to have a Servant of the Conduit. Joke's on them. Anyway, what I was saying was, I do kind of miss Glorybringer. Even in the mirror, just Planeswalkers are so important, and it's really important to be able to pressure them. So I don't even know if the Black Splash is that much better. Opponent really doesn't want me to have a Servant of the Conduit. This game's basically over. Well, I mean, I guess we can kill a Planeswalker with Harness Lightning, but we're just so far behind. He's still scrying on top. Right, kill that. Finish off Chandra, because that's the bigger problem. This game's not 100% over, but if his hand's like remotely good, then yeah, Bristling Hydra is gonna, with that much energy, is gonna be pretty much insurmountable. Let's see, I can play a Virtuoso. I'll be left with 10 energy, so I can make 3 Thopters. Likely not enough to finish off the Nissa. I really need to hit my lands. I'm just going to play another Refiner. And pass. See, like, the thing I'm learning about the mirror is it almost just doesn't matter if your cards are more powerful, because, like, Bristling Hydra and Glorybringer are arguably more powerful than all the black cards anyway. My opponent has a pretty nice draw here. 17 energy? Jesus. I can't beat a Bristling Hydra with this hand. Okay then. Post board. We can take out this Fatal Push. Bring in another Duress, perhaps. Consider Negate as well. Oh, also the Nissa, and potentially the Nicol Bolas. We can also cut like maybe a Harness Lightning on the play. Not going to be as important to kill his creatures as often. I'd rather have threats. Still don't love Nicol Bolas. Just too expensive. Which is also making me reconsider having Nicol Bolas in my deck at all. If I don't even want it post-board. I think I like everything else. I guess I'll just run it like this. But I'll play. And I guess keep this one. Let's go grab a mountain. See how trigger happy my opponent is this time with killing my Servant of the Conduits. Okay, not this time. Luckily, we have a good foil to his plan this time. Got a Chandra, and I'm just going to kill off his Servant. And that should put us pretty far ahead. Not a bad draw. A few options this turn. I can make mana. Making mana doesn't do much. See, the interesting thing here is I'm considering leaving my Servant back to block his Rogue Refiner, which would lead me to want to make mana with Chandra rather than use her her first +1 ability. Because otherwise I would have to block with either a Virtuoso or a Siphoner if I wanted to save her, which I don't love. If he plays a Chandra, he'll be able to finish off my Chandra, but I can then use Chandra's defeat, so I'm not as worried about that. So I guess I am actually going to make mana. Also, I guess lets me hold up Chandra's defeat for whatever that's worth. Play the Siphoner. That's the turn. And now even if he has a Chandra, he has to decide between plussing to finish my Chandra or killing off my Siphoner, which will give him fits for sure. Just a Servant from him. It's fine. Yep, and I'll trade off with my Servant. I'm not going to make Thopters, I'm just going to start drawing cards with my Siphoner. Ooh, that's a good draw. However, he does have 2 mana available for Negate. I don't think I want to do that right now. I think I'm just going to +1 Virtuoso, sure. And we'll attack. And there's an argument for holding up Chandra's defeat in case he has a Glorybringer. I think I will do that, actually. Oh, that was dumb. That was so dumb. I can just make a Thopter to block a Glorybringer. Could have had double Siphoner going. That would have been way better. Okay, my opponent just concedes. And that was the end of that league. So what did we learn? The Black Splash did look pretty good there, but still I'm a little bit unconvinced that it's actually the full Mirror Breaker. We kind of won that game with like turn 3 Chandra and we likely could have won if this was like a long test cub or whatever. So, I don't know. Still figuring it out, but let's play a couple more matches.